chapter 12, verses 32 to 34 and 48b. Do not be afraid, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give alms. Make purses for yourselves that do not wear out, an unfailing treasure in heaven, where no thief comes near and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. From everyone to whom much has been given, much will be required. And from the one to whom much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
I should add a prayer request of gratitude. Yesterday at 13,000 feet, I rolled my ankle, and you can hear that, you hear that, and you feel that breathing. A couple thousand feet, to go down on that. And I didn't know that I'd be able to walk this morning. How swollen it was, but thank you, God. So I want to tell you a story by Bird Baylor. If you could see us sitting here at our old scratched up homemade kitchen table, you'd know we aren't rich. My father tries to tell us we are, but can't he see my worn out shoes? Or that my little brother has patches on the pants he wears to first grade? You can't fool me, I say to him. We're poor. Would rich people sit at a table like this? My parents made this table out of the lumber someone else threw away. They even had a celebration when they finished it. My mother pats the table and agrees with my father. We're rich because we sit here every day. Sometimes I think I'm the only sensible one in the family. Now, understand, I like this table just fine. All I'm saying is you can tell we didn't pay anything for it. That it didn't come from a furniture store. It's not a table where rich people would sit. So I called a family meeting, and the subject is money. And I tell my parents, we don't have enough of it. I tell my parents they should get better jobs so we can buy nicer things. And add, I hate to bring this up, but it would really help if both of you had a little more ambition. My parents have some strange ideas about working. They think the owners, they want cliffs or canyons or desert or mountains around them whenever they work. They want a good view of the sky. And they always want to work together. And their favorite thing to do is pan for gold, piling us all up in a beat-up old truck and heading for the rocky desert, or back in some narrow mountain gully where all the roads are just coyote trails. They love to walk the wide arroyos, the dry stream beds where little flecks of gold are found. And after a month or two out there, they always find a little bit of gold to sell. But it's never made us rich. And as far as I can see, it's just an excuse to camp in some beautiful wild place. They also like to pick chilies and squash and tomatoes, and they don't mind planting fields of sweet corn or alfalfa. And they'll put up strong fences and train wild horses. And my father asks, how many people are as lucky as we are? But I've called this family meeting to say, you could make more money working in a building somewhere in town. But he said, our number one rule is we have to see the sky. You could look out a window. But they won't even think about it. See what I mean about being the only sensible one in the family? My mother hands my brother and I a pencil and a yellow pad and says, okay, let's add up our assets. You be the bookkeeper. And we start with $20,000. That's how much my father says it's worth to him to work outdoors, where he can see sky all day and feel the wind and smell the rain an hour before it begins raining. He says it's worth that much because if he feels like singing, he can sing out loud and no one will mind. I've just written $20,000 on the pad when my mother adds, you better make that $30,000 because it's worth at least another 10 to hear coyotes howling back in the hills. So I write down $30,000. And then she remembers that they like to see long distances and faraway mountains that change color like 10 times a day. That's worth $5,000 to me, she says. So I scratch out what I'd written and put down $35,000. My father thinks of something else. When a cactus blooms, you should be there to watch it, because it might be a color you never see again. And he asks my brother, how much do you think that color is worth? 50 cents? But they decide it's worth another $5,000. So now I write down on my pad $40,000. My father loves to make bird sounds. He can copy any bird, but he's best at white-winged doves and ravens and red-tailed hawks. He's good at eagles, too, and great-horned owls. So, of course, he tells me to write down another $10,000 for having both day and night birds around us. So I cross out what I had, and the total is now $50,000. And then my mother asks how much they think I'm worth to them. And I add, another $10,000 to the list of assets. But my father said, oh no, don't underestimate yourself. Remember how good at lists you are. And he's right, I'm very good at making lists. I mean, someone in the family has to. And they end up saying that I'm worth $1 million. And I tell them it's a little high, but I smile and I write it down anyway. And naturally, we have to add another $1 million for my brother, though at 7 years old, he really doesn't do that much to add to our bottom line yet. And then we add $1 million for each of my parents, and so I scratch out all the previous numbers and write $4,050,000. My brother says we should add $7 for every night we get to sleep outside under the stars. And we all agree it's really worth more like $5,000. So then I decide to add $5,000 for the pleasure of wandering around open country alone, free as a lizard, not following trails, not having a plan, just turning whatever way the wind blows me. Now my yellow pad says we have $4,060,000, and we haven't even started counting actual cash. But by that time I realize the cash part doesn't really matter, and suggest it shouldn't be listed on our list of riches. So I declare the meeting over. The rest of them go outside to see the sliver of the new moon, while I sit at our beautiful, hand-carved, homemade kitchen table. And I think no one is rich enough to ever afford something as nice as this. This beautiful story is entitled The Table Where Rich People Sit. I always send my sermons to my sister in Arizona on Friday night, telling her this is my final draft before I'll work on it on Sunday. And she wrote back, do you know this is my favorite book in the world? And that we read it at our Thanksgiving table every year and have 4 years? I thought it might be an interesting exercise for all of us to sit down with our families with a pencil and a yellow pad to make a list of our own assets and see what we come up with. So last week, in our text from the Gospel of Luke, this is a continuation of it. And Jesus said, guard yourself against all kinds of greed. After all, one's life isn't determined by one's possessions. And he asked them to consider the ravens. You are worth so much more than birds, he said. Jesus said, notice how the lilies grow. Solomon in all his splendor wasn't dressed as beautifully as those. He points to the grass in the field and exhorts his followers not to chase after what we will eat or what we will drink, but instead desire the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Now, if you think about the girl in the story, at least in the beginning, can you just see her rolling her eyes and say, come on, Jesus, let's be serious, sensible about this. And then in today's reading, he goes even further. Yes, considering the ravens and noticing the lilies and admiring the grass is a lovely idea, but then he says very directly, sell your possessions and give to those in need. And adds the familiar phrase, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also, which is the lesson of this family. But it's the last line of today's reading that speaks most directly to me, because it's one of those disconnects I feel in our country. It's the disconnect, but it's also the solution. From everyone to whom much has been given, much will be required. And from the one to whom much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded. Sit with that for a few seconds. From everyone to whom much has been given, much will be required. And from the one to whom much has been entrusted, even more will be demanded. You see the disconnect and the solution for our country and maybe for me and you too? Because Jesus isn't talking spiritualese. And this isn't about heaven. And it's not just about ravens and lilies and grass, but specifically about possessions. Our stuff. And Jesus is talking about our stuff. Because your stuff reveals your heart. What if we think about all our stuff? You know, all that stuff that's stuffed up into corners and stuffed down in the basement and up in attics and in all those storage locker facilities that keep going up everywhere. What if we think about all our stuff and realize our stuff has nothing to do with our heart? What if our stuff is just about having stuff? And then we need more stuff to go with it. And if so, wouldn't we be better by selling it and giving away the proceeds to help people who actually need stuff? And doing so, wouldn't that liberate us and in the process help liberate others? So Art and I did the whole Marie Kondo thing, you know, the life-changing magic of tidying it up, where you ask of every possession, does this bring me joy? Art is much better at it than me. And I had to draw the line in a few things. Like when he wanted to part with our first season DVD set of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I hid that in a drawer. But after all, how much stuff do we really need? In essence, Jesus said, desire the kingdom of God, a world that is open and inclusive and just and compassionate. You know what? We'll find ourselves with all the stuff we really need.
Amen.